There, good evening and welcome to this beautiful evening session. How are you doing this beautiful evening? All righty, it's one of my impromptus that I love to do. And of course, I am going to be talking about reading as a life skill. So, welcome to my reading as a life skill series. All right, my name is Mariba Chima. If you are seeing me or joining me for the first time, I am the founder of the Parenting Through Mentorship Academy and PTM Resources. And yes, I run a ment sorry. All right then. So I run a mentorship and accountability group for young children. Yes, for children between ages 5 and 10, where we help the children learn how to navigate through life. And yes, summer is here, the long holiday is here, and this happens to be my favorite parenting season, right? Of the year. I love the summer holiday. And why do I love the summer holiday? I love this long vacation or summer holiday, if you like to call it, because it is such a fantastic time for parents to lock in and help their children unfold their superpower. Yes, it is a beautiful time to get into that space with your child, to connect with children, and to help children learn new skills and whatever it is that you want to see in your children, because the long vacation summer holiday gives you enough time to introduce skills and to help the children learn those skills and internalize the skills. So yes, it is a period in your children's life that you do not want to take for granted. It is a period that you want to maximize. And today, let's look at reading being a life skill and not an option. Yes, parents, reading is a life skill. Reading is not an option. Getting children to read is getting children prepared for life. It is not an option. It is a life skill. And it is an advantage that every parent needs to pass or to give their children. Even if it's a skill that you did not come around to cultivating. And who says that you cannot even cultivate that skill right now as an adult? You can do that as an adult, but we're not talking about you today. We're talking about your child. Reading is a habit that every parent should help their children cultivate, because it is not an option, it is a life skill. Yes, literacy is literacy is actually the ability to read, isn't it? So we all go to school because we want to become literate. So we are taught, children are taught right from when they are young, right, to blend, and blend words into sound, to make blend sounds, and all of that. And so if literacy is a skill that we all agree that our children need in today's world, right? As we stand today, literacy is a life skill. Your ability to read is not an option, isn't it? Your ability to read is a life skill needed for you to succeed as a human being, because the world expects you to read to find your way when you go out. The world expects you to read the leaflets, right, in the medication that you have to take to to feel well if you're ill. You cannot do anything. You will practically struggle through life if you cannot read. So that's why you see our very old parents who cannot read often will need someone that can help them read and explain to them, what they need to know. So it is not even something you want to begin to, argue, isn't it? Even for people who have visual impairment, right? People who are visually impaired, there are ways to even get them to read. They get to read, they get to learn to read even without seeing those, letters on paper. So reading, being literate, is a skill that every human needs to navigate through life, isn't it? Now, if we know that introducing our children to this skill is introducing them to life itself, introducing them to this skill is introducing them to being able to navigate. So why not? Why shouldn't we start introducing them? Because there are actually pre-reading skills, right? There are actually pre-reading skills that our children need. And it means that if we can start introducing them to reading for leisure, if we can start introducing them to reading as a way of life, we are already taking into consideration that they would have to be literate. And we're already putting them in the space, right, to have this skill and to harness this skill. So why not? So it means that if the earlier you introduce your child to reading at all, right, the more advantage you give them, right, when they eventually get to the age where they can read properly. So why not? Why shouldn't we introduce them to this as early as possible? So, dear parents, literacy is one of your child's superpowers. Yes, it's one of their superpowers. And it is important that you start sharpening it today. You start sharpening it as early as possible. So when we say that we have 30 days fun activity, right? Summer fun activity, book challenge, right? And we say that the challenge is for children from 0 to 10. It wasn't a mistake. We are saying it's for your child who is 0, because that is when you start introducing them to books. Let's start by having children see books, by having children appreciate books. I hear parents say, oh, when you tell parents to buy books, I'm an author, by the way, and I author beautiful children books. I write books for young children, right? And so when parents come around to buy books, or you're saying to parents, buy books, children need to read books, you hear them say things like, oh, I don't like to buy books because the children would tear them and all of that. That the children tear books anyway, that's a matter for another day. But do you know that if you introduce children to books as early as possible, it becomes a part of their lives that they don't even tear books? I say this a lot of the times. My children never tore their books. Not even when they were 1 year old did my children tear their books. So first of all, there are age appropriate books for every level of the child, every level for the child, right? So at the point where your child is a few months old and 1 year old and all of that, there are books that are, appropriate, that are hard, the paper or the leaves, right, are hard. It's not easy for the child to actually tear those books, right? So first of all, you have age appropriate books, right? Apart from those age appropriate books, the books become something that pleasures the child. So you introduce the child to books early, and books is something that appeals to the child's pleasure center. And so the child sees book as a matter of fun. The child sees book as something that is pleasurable. So the child doesn't want to ruin something that they love. So if you introduce them to books early, then the chances are your children will not see books as things that they tear and play with, especially if you introduce this to them and you walk them through the process, or you introduce them to books and you stay in that process with them. You will show them what books are for. You will show them what books can be used for. You will show them how important books are. You will show them all of these. And of course, because your children will learn to appreciate books. Dear parents, your children will see the world through your eyes. Your little children will see the world, will appreciate the world, will see what is important through your eyes. So if you make books as one of those first things that your children see and appreciate and see as important, then your children would treat book as something that is important. Very, very key. All right. If you're here with me, please say hi in the comment section. I like to see, I like to know that you are here, and I like to say hi to you also. If you're catching the replay, let us know where you are joining us from. My name is Maribel Chima, and today I'm talking about reading as not an option, but a life skill. Reading, teaching your children to read, helping your children cultivate a love for reading is a life skill. You are equipping, you are empowering your child for life when you teach them to read, or when you help them cultivate a love for reading. It's not about And that brings me to my second point. Reading is not an extra skill, dear parents. It is not an extracurricular activity. No, reading is a life skill. It's not what you do on the side. It's not what you do by the way. It's not what you do when you have extra time. It is what you do every day. Hi, how are you, Aisha Murtala? Thank you for joining me. All right, it is what you do every day intentionally. It is what you sharpen. I said a few minutes ago that it is a superpower for your child. So reading is essential, and every child should be encouraged to love books. Every child should be encouraged to appreciate books. Every child should be encouraged to read. How can we do this? We can do this by introducing books early to our children, by reading aloud to our children as early as possible. When we read aloud to our children, we connect and we bond with our children. We make our children love the sound, the reading, and the tone of our voice by reading to them. The more you read to your child, the more your child becomes, the more your voice becomes soothing to your child, because there is a way to read. Now, as a parent, this is it why we introduce you and we invite you, right, to start reading our books. As I said, I write books for young children, and I write books for children as old as young as 0. When you come into our community, we don't just give you these books. We write books in a way that you can connect and you bond with your children. I love to say a lot of the times that I do not just write books. I create experiences for parents and children. Our books help you create experiences. So when we give you, or when you get our book, you realize that it's not just about the story. It's the stories, it's the conversation that go with the stories, it's the activities that go with the story, it's the role play that goes with the story. As you do all of this, you're connecting with your child, you are having a good time with your child, you are sharing experiences. Our stories will trigger you to tell more stories to your children, and it is intentional. We help you open a line of communication with your child. A lot of parents who did not have time to sit and have conversations with their children, just reading our books. We have 12 books in our bedtime stories and our skill up series, right? 7 of them old books. Our old books are conversation starters. So we see parents use our books, and through our books, parents are able to have conversations with their children. It's not just those monotonous kind of, conversations that you have with your children a lot of the time. We come back from work. How was school today? School was fine. How are you? I'm fine. And all of that. No, these books trigger real conversations and helps you open that line of conversation. Do you know that line of conversation can become a conversation line that is open for you and your child for the rest of your life, just because you started reading to them? So yes, you can create a routine, create a bedtime story routine. That's what we do with our children. As soon as our children are born, we create a bedtime story routine where bedtime becomes a part of our daily routine. Before the children go off to sleep, we read, even if it's for just 3 to 5 minutes. You read, and then sometimes you have to sing as part of, the reading. Sometimes, so even in our books, they're part of the books where you have to sing the song, and you have to create a tone and sing the song together. All right, there are times that you have to do an activity, and you do that activity together. What you're doing is you're bonding, you're opening conversation lines, you are working that conversation line, and then you're giving your children something to look forward to every day. All of this is intentional. So if you want to get the best out of our bedtime stories for Champions series, then read it with your child. Read it with your 1-year-old, your child that is less than 1, your 5, even your 6-year-olds. So our bedtime stories for Champions series is typically for children between 0 and 6, but even your older children can enjoy them. Even you will enjoy those stories. So that's what we are talking about. All right. Number 3 point I'll be sharing today is that there is a dimension of knowledge, right? There's a dimension of knowledge and passion for knowledge that's everyday teaching cannot, tap into like reading can. So when children are introduced to reading early and children begin to read early, you will realize that they will catch some passion for knowledge, that every time the child needs to, know, or the child wants to get deeper insight into something, the child is readily, the child goes into research or reading on their own without you even having to force them. I see this a lot with both my children. So somehow both my children love, animals. They love, funny, it's just really funny, right? Our son doesn't like animals, touch, carry animals and all of that, but he loves to know about animals. So he knows a lot about animals. He knows a lot about animals, how they operate, the science behind every animal he knows. And you see this knowledge, I don't even know about these things like both my children do, because I don't research into them. I don't read books about animals. I don't know so much about animals. But no, they do, because it is something that they learned early. They started reading right from when they were age 0. And our son did not read one fiction book till he was somewhere around age 7, 6, 7. That's when our son read a Geronimo Stilton. And then it was not a surprise that a Geronimo Stilton book that he read was actually, about a rabbit, isn't it? Geronimo Stilton. So it was about a rabbit, and all of the main character was a rabbit, right? Because he loves animals. So, but he was read to. We read stories to him. We read fiction books to him every day. So he would get the books and bring them to you. He enjoyed listening to us read the stories, but he wouldn't pick one and read on his own. But the day he picked one and started reading, that was it. He can read any genre of book. And so all they need is, they're curious about something, they're looking for a book. I know I can't count how many times our son has had to, tell me specific books. So we have a budget for books in our home, the way you have budget for food, every month. We have budgets for books. And our son will actually have, by the time the time is getting for us to buy books, he would actually have a list already of the books that he wants to read. The books that he has, someone has recommended, or he has seen, or a subject that he wants to know about. And so he researches books around that subject, and voila, he picks a book or he gets a book, and we're looking for that particular book. It's been such joy to actually see him pick his money and actually buy a book. I remember him buying a book about a biography of Elon Musk. He was curious about Elon Musk at a point. He wanted to know more about Elon. And he actually took his money. I remember he bought that book at the airport in Port Harcourt. We're on our way to Abuja from Port Harcourt. And he bought that book. It was 6,000 naira. I can't forget. He used his pocket money and paid 6,000 naira for a book. So that's what happens when we introduce children to books. Let's do the introduction, and you leave the children. As they catch the bug, the children will run with it. So there is a deep passion for learning and for knowledge, that when you introduce children to books early, the children catch that bug and the children can move with it on their own. Dear parents, reading is a gift. Yes. Reading is a gift that you give your child, that the child will benefit from for the rest of their lives. I say that again. Reading is a gift that when you get, you will benefit of for the rest of your life. It will set you apart. It will put you on top in any field or any a place where you find yourself. See, and there are rooms that you get to, that the size of your knowledge is what makes you relevant in that room. There are rooms like that. There are tables that you get to, that who listens to you depends on what you bring to that table or how much you know on that table. And no, we cannot overemphasize the place of reading when it comes to acquiring knowledge and deep insight. So that's what you do to your children. See, I drop my children, and my children are in the company of adults, and I'm not afraid, because I know that they can hold on to a conversation. They don't say silly things. They don't talk silly things. They will match you conversation for conversation. a lot of the times, because they have built some degree of knowledge right on their own, and they are not afraid to ask questions that will mean getting more knowledge. That's what you do when you introduce children to books early. You put them on a quest for more knowledge. You help them build that ability, or help them build that restlessness within to get or to know more. So the more you introduce children to books, the more children want to know. The more you introduce them to books, the more they want to learn, the more they're open to learning, the more they understand that learning or knowledge is increased with every new book that you hold in your hands. So children begin to appreciate the knowledge that they get from the books, the knowledge that they get from people who have access to books, and other things that they don't have yet. See, if you want your child to appreciate knowledge and appreciate people who are knowledgeable, let them read books. Because as soon as they begin to understand the place of knowledge, book as a reservoir of knowledge, they will identify when they see people who are reservoirs of knowledge themselves. So your children get to appreciate people who are knowledgeable. This is how you move them from talking about Pokemon, animation, and all of these silly things all the time, because they now have other interests that are just beyond the superficial and the mundane things in life. So yes, book is a gift. Giving your children, right, helping your children cultivate a love for reading is a gift that you give to them, and it becomes a gift for a lifetime. All right, the last thing I am going to say today, that is, wise kids, wise children read. And dear parents, wise parents encourage their children to read. I will take that again. Wise children love to read. Wise children read books. Wise children appreciate books. And wise parents encourage their children to read. So don't be caught in that space where you are saying, oh, my children do not like to read. If you even buy the book, they will not read it. If you do this, they will not do it. I'm tired of buying books. Why should you be tired of buying books? Now, let us see. Let's look at a few things that you can start doing today, even for that child who doesn't like to read. So 4 years ago, we started the Summer Fun Activity Book Reading Challenge, right? 4 years ago, I started that. The first year, I think we had about 20 people or so take that challenge. Next year, we had 30 thereabouts. And then after that, we had about 50 or so. Last year, we had almost 200 people take that challenge. Now, what we do in the Summer Fun Activity Book Challenge is we wrap reading in fun. So we create an environment and we create a hunger for reading through fun activities. So every day, the child gets to do an activity that actually pulls the child to read a book. So the activities that we do, the activities that the challenge that the children have to take every day, will get the children to do a fun activity that will lead the children to read books. Now, you need to understand, as I said at the beginning, that reading has got pre-skills. Reading has got other skills. Do you know that when your child is actually writing and reading out a menu, the child is also reading, right? The child is also reading. When your child is telling a story, your child is role playing, or your child is acting out a scene in a book, your child is actually reading. So there are so many things that we can do. There's so many ways or activities that we can get our children to do that will help them cultivate a love for reading. We have testimony after testimonies of children who are zero readers, children who didn't want to see books. At the end of the challenge, these children became lovers of books. That's what we want to do. We want to help these children cultivate. We don't want you dragging and forcing the children to read. We don't want you dragging and scolding the children to read. No, we want you to put the children in the space where the children love to read, because there is an activity, or there are activities that have, help the children, the activities that have motivated the children to read. So, what is that activity that is going to motivate your child to read this summer holiday? That is what we are offering in the 30 days summer fun activity book challenge. Anyone that has been in that challenge will tell you that it is a challenge like none other that you know. Please, if you are in the stream and you have participated, your child has participated in the summer fun activity book challenge, please tell us in the comments what their experiences were like. So it is an accountability challenge. So yes, you will have a number of books that you're reading. You will read, you will report your reading every day. We will encourage the children every day. We will give you feedback every day. So yes, so that's what it is. And you know the thing about our fun activity book challenge, it gets better every year. So if you were in the challenge last year and you think that was good, this year we have it all packaged to even be better. So yes, it is one that you want every child between 0 and 10 to be a part of. Last year we took children up to 413. This year, no, let the big boys, go and, let the big boys just stay in the corner. Let's cultivate this habit in the young ones, right? Let's cultivate this habit in the young ones, because this is the time we need to catch them. And yes, if you have older children who are not reading yet, please, by all means, get them, get them into that space also that they can read. You can enroll them, but don't tell me that they are 15 and 16. I mean, don't tell me that they are 11, 12, or 13, okay? Enroll them and do your thing, but don't tell me, because this challenge is for children between 0 and 10. But you can enroll your older children, all right? If they're in that space where they don't like reading at all right, it is important. I am going to close now. How do you become a part of this challenge? What we have done is, the challenge on its own is actually worth, is 10,000 naira. That's what the challenge is for. But we are giving this challenge as a whooping 50% discount, right? At a flash sale that is coming up on the 15th. All right. So we're giving it as a discount that is even less than 50, that is more than 50%, right? I won't tell you the amount yet, but you'll see it soon. Okay. So we're giving it as a discount that is more than 50%. And then apart from that, you are also getting 3 packs for everyone who registers for this challenge. All right. But apart from those general packs that you're getting, there are 2 amazing books that I have created. 2 amazing books that we are going to sell. No, it's going to be sold. There are guides that will be sold. But we are going to give them for free to those who are going to, register, take advantage of our early challengers flash sale. That's what we call it. Early challengers registration flash sale that is coming up on the 15th. So as an early challenger, if you get in on that day, you get the 2 guides, the 2 ebooks that we have. One of them is the screen detox and screen discipline guide. I want to give you something that will make the summer holiday, a success. I want to give you something that will put children in that space. I want you to empower. I want to help you empower your child to make decisions, right? To empower your child to begin to make decisions that will empower them, decisions that will benefit them, not because you forced them to make those decisions, but because you empowered them to make those decisions. If you know me and you work with me, you will know that I am very big on child-led activities and children leading their learning. If you have a child in the mastermind circle, you know what I'm talking about. I am big on children taking the front stage in their lives and beginning to, make baby steps towards, their future, basically. I like to raise children that will become resourceful teenagers. So no, we don't baby feed children. We don't scold children and force them to do what they have to do. No, we don't. We don't scold children. Neither do we baby feed children. But what we do is we empower children. We hold them, we guide them, and then we make them want to direct themselves. Yes, we encourage the children in a way that the children begin to believe. We help children, right, by having the children believe in our convictions. That's what we do. So I want to give you that detox and screen discipline to help you give your children the conviction that the children understand that the screens, what do you call it, excessive screen time is not right for them. The guide will help the children understand this and will guide the children to start making better choices. So yes, your children will make the choices and create certain schedules for themselves that will empower them to become screen disciplined in the summer holiday. That's not all. We also have the second guide that is geared at helping your child avoid summer slide. Summer slide is when children go on holiday and because they don't do any academic activities or anything like that, by the time they get back to school, they have to struggle because they've lost all of that. Now, we do not want your children to carry academic activities during the holiday on their head, but there's a way that we can help children learn through authentic ways and the things in their environment. We can help children through play and through intentionality to actually stay in that place where they are developing and they are actually, building themselves intellectually and academically to avoid the summer slide. I got you. So yes, we can do that. So these two guides only for those who would be participating at that flash sale. After the flash sale, you will still get the other packs that come, after the 15th. By the 16th, these two go off the table completely. You can get the other three packs. So altogether, we are coming at you with packs worth over 30,000 naira. Yes. Okay. These ones are worth 10,000, and then we have those other three guides. I think two or three, right, that are worth, So we're coming at you with all of these just because we want you to get children, to gift your children the gift of reading or cultivating a love for reading. All right. So yes, if you would like to be a part of all of this, at the end of this, if admin is here, they will be posting. They'll be posting the link, right? They'll be posting the link for you to join the wait list, right? So just click that link and join the wait list where you can sit there, just chill there and get ready to, participate in the July 15th early challengers flash sale. All right. So yes, if by now you have not ordered our new books, we have 5 new amazing books in the Bedtime Stories for Champions and Skill Up series. Yes, 5 amazing books, and they are out for pre-order right now. You can get all of them for 20. Well, how much is it now? You can get all 5 books for 20,500 instead of about 30,000 if you pre-order between now and the 20th of July. So if you have not pre-ordered my new books, please rush and go and pre-order. I think we'll probably put the link down here also if you want to pre-order. If you want to pre-order just the Bedtime Stories for Champions series for 0 to 6, that's going for about 11,500 for all 3 of them. So yes, get them now and enjoy with your children. Okay, don't miss the opportunity to get these books right now. All right, thank you very much for joining me. If you have questions, just put the questions in the comment section. All right, and if you got value from this session, please let us know also in the comment section. If you joined or you are catching the replay of the session, let us know where you are joining us from. Thank you again, and do have a wonderful rest of the evening. My name is Marybeth Chima, and I am the founder of the Parenting Through Mentorship Academy. Yes, I am the proud matron of the Mastermind Circle, and I am the chief umpire of the 30 Days Fun Activity Book Challenge. I can't wait. For me, it's such an exciting time because I get to get into character. Yes, I wear costumes. I do it's a lot of costumes. It's a lot of puppet shows. It's puppet shows. It's story time. It's costume. It's wearing grandma dresses. So yeah, it's just fun. Go get ready. Let's have fun with your children this summer holiday. Thank you for joining me. Have a blessed rest of the evening. Bye. Bye-bye. And down.